you said a direct experience. You used it actually referring to a level 2, model 2, language 2, a kind of experience. But here again, I'm going to suggest that we reserve this phrase, direct experience, for this paradoxical, technically impossible, but definitely something that does occur. You can see pure existence. You can actually see existence, and that's what I would call direct experience. Now, putting aside for a moment that whole paradox, let's just talk for a moment about existence itself. Okay, now, is existence a property, or is existence something else? The way we usually use it is that we use it as a property. In other words, when I say that a certain thing exists, I'm saying that it has the property of existing. So I'm applying the property of existence onto some object. So we think of existence primarily as a property. Now,
some do.
Some do, okay.
No, let's just leave it like that. Later I think it can be very instructive to notice how that somebody imbued in level 3 and in level 2 and in level 1 will visualize all these things, right? Yes. And like when I was saying somebody moves from level 3 from conventional wisdom into some kind of esoteric wisdom, and then they're the ones that claim, this is direct. This is a direct experience. Yeah. And I'm just quoting a testimony. Surely I'm not trying to claim anything. And of course, if they step into level 1, they wouldn't say that anymore, right?
Yeah, it's a good point, and it also shows us that maybe level 1 is superior to level 2, and maybe level 2 is superior to level 3. On the other hand, they're all on the map. They're all equal in another sense. And a person may move through them and feel that he has stabilized his awareness, at level 2 or level 1, or he may just enjoy passing through all of them. So none of them
or back and
forth in some kind of a pattern. None of them are wrong, I don't think.
So then these are 3 models: Model 3, Model 2, and Model 1. And yes. Of course what they are is they're verbal models.
Yes.
Right? And so then each verbal model is, in a way, it's not here. It is here because we're saying it's a model of what's here, right? But the model itself is a series of ideas, which is not here, actually. The ideas are an overlay of what's here. And so then all of these 3 are actually, I think it's nice to be clear that they don't exist. Yeah. We're talking about existence, and we're talking about 3 levels, and yes. Those are abstractions. And it's just we're talking maybe about levels of abstractions.
Yeah.
Because the level 3 that we're talking about is pure abstract.
Okay.
It's all made up of concepts.
Yes.
And it's very flexible because those concepts can go all over the map. They don't have to exist. In fact, they don't.
I like the way you use the word abstract, because conventionally we would say that level 3 is solid.
And level 1 is abstract.
Yeah.
Until we touch level 1. If
yes.
we've never touched it, then it's just an idea that we're talking about. Maybe there's heaven,
Yeah.
Maybe there's
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about existence. Let's, kind of keep on coming back to our real purpose here, which is to try to understand the nature of existence so that we can approach an understanding of what does exist and what doesn't exist.
Or let's just say that we can know it when we see it.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Fair
know,
enough.
because maybe we're thinking this is existence, and we're all level three dudes, and we're thinking,
Yeah.
oh, of course it's existence, but we want to know it when we see it, or have some hints that what wouldn't be it and what would,
Uh-huh.
and then we can start giving properties to it, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know if we really finished the property idea, right?
Okay, good.
I jumped off of that, I think, because
If we say that existence is only a property, then we find ourselves in a strange situation. If it's only a property, by which I mean it's not an actual object. Let's say, a pen. A pen is an object. Let's say for now that this pen exists. So this object, this pen, I've applied the property of existence to it. And I can do that because the pen is an object, and you can apply a property to an object. All right, so we can apply the property of existence to this object and that object and that other object.
And take the property of existence away from a few objects too, right?
Yes.
So we're selectively trying to determine.
But if existence is only a property and not an object in its own right, then we're never able to apply the property of existence to that object called existence. We've said existence is only a property. It's not an object. So we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner, because now I'm not able to apply the property of existence to the object called existence. So I'm not able to say...
Why? Say why.
Because if we say that existence is only a property and not a commodity, not a substance, not an object, like that pen.
Not even object, entity, or I don't know what we should
yes.
say. What word we should say?
Well, object, substance, something that has...
Yeah, we want to say all those words like state or entity or, but really,
something that has
really
mass.
They don't make it, right?
An object for now, I think is good enough. So if existence is only a property and not an object, well, being not an object, we can't apply any property to it. If it's not an object, you can't apply a property to something that's not an object.
A non-object.
Yeah. So you can't apply the property of existence to existence itself because it's not an object. It's only a property. So this is odd. The pen exists, and the tree exists, and the car exists, but existence doesn't exist.
So then that whole thing breaks down, right? I mean, the whole... I honestly don't know if I ever had the yen to call existence a property.
No, but...
Or exactly follow where you're going with that.
Well, I think implicitly that is, it's a passive verb. And as such, we're in the habit, aren't we, of saying that, this thing exists.
But in this sentence structure, it sounds like it's a...
Yes.
It's passive verb, right?
Yes.
But that's not really what we mean at all, right?
Well,
or is that what we find? We don't find that.
One way or another, we seem to be happy to apply the notion of existing to many things without directly thinking about the fact that existence itself should also exist. And to exist, for it to exist, it needs to have those qualities of being an object that these other things.
I don't know. To me, that breaks down. So then I don't know if that's...
Okay. Well, let's...
Is that like, who wants to apply, who wants to say that exists? Is that that's somebody in the conventional world, right? Wants to say that.
Yeah.
And does somebody in the esoteric world want to say that too?
Sure. If you have a vision of Shiva, you want to say Shiva exists.
You do or you don't.
You do. I mean, it's it's not like we overtly walk around all day saying, I declare that that exists, and I declare that that exists. But
We assume it. We
but
assume it.
implicitly, we're always,
In other words, we're assuming if I have to deal with it, it exists.
yes,
If I don't have to deal with it, it's just a cloud.
we're granting at least provisional existence to things that we deal with. You know, that thing exists, so then my car exists, so I'm going to get in it and drive to work.
And fill it with the gas.
That's right. At any rate, we do very much deal, you know, with what I'm calling the property of existence.
Is that only when you're fascinated by seeing what exists? I mean,
no,
we're just assuming. I mean, because when we're in conventional wisdom, we're assuming everything exists, and we're just a part of that existence.
No,
right?
not really, not everything. If you're, I don't know, if your two-year-old daughter comes out and she says, "Daddy, there's a monster under my bed," you say, "Oh, honey, that doesn't exist." So,
okay.
So we, you know, we pride ourselves in being able to determine what exists and what doesn't exist. But we don't seriously consider the possibility that existence should exist as more than just a tautology, more than just a trivial statement. In other words, what would it really imply if we really get fascinated by the fact that actually existence should exist? Existence obviously must exist, or we shouldn't be using that word at all. So what I'm trying to get at here, maybe I'm not doing such a good job, is that existence might be more of an object than a property. It might be an actual substance. It might be a commodity. It might have mass. Well, we say it can't have mass. Well, maybe it has what we are getting at when we use the word mass. In other words, it has real mass. Other things have some other lesser quality of mass. I've seen, to some extent I'm seeing now, that existence is an actual object. It's the ultimate object. It's the one real object. It's something that actually does exist.
So it's something you can bump into.
Yes.
And then do you have to deal with it, or you just can ignore it like we have been for all these years?
Well, life goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this is kind of like a technicality. It's just a matter of, as I said, knowing what exists and what doesn't exist. And, you know, in daily life, it doesn't matter that much. It doesn't make a big difference. But it's nice to know the truth about things, you know. And experientially, it is absolutely possible for a regular guy like you and me, and I love to you know, do a little mood make and play in the subtle arts and sciences and see a few auras here and there and have a few visions, and you know, I love it. That's where all the fun is. But I'm really just a regular Model 3 person. You know, I'm just a guy living in Iowa. And if a regular guy like me can stake his life on telling you that I have seen solid existence, then anyone can. Anyone can see it. It's not, you don't have to be a lifelong mystic.